The 2024 Nissan Z Nismo is a decent car built on a bunch of weird decisions. The weirdness starts with the fact that the car is only being offered with a pretty meh 9-speed automatic transmission, and continues with it being around 100 pounds heavier than the Z Performance model. The pièce de résistance is the Z Nismo's price tag, which starts at over $66,000. Which leads me to wonder, who exactly is this thing for? From the outside, it looks pretty good. The Z Nismo takes its front-end styling and rear ducktail spoiler from the 240Z G-Nose, which remains an enthusiast favorite. The rear end takes some cues from the R35 GTR, and so is a little more squared off for aerodynamic purposes. And the Rays 19-inch forged wheels are unique to the Nismo and also look pretty good. Inside, things are just okay. Sure, this Z is miles beyond the old 370 when it comes to tech, but it still feels pretty cramped and cheap. The Z Nismo's manually adjustable Recaro bucket seats look rad and are reasonably comfortable, and the red accents throughout the cabin are nice enough too. The steering wheel gets some Alcantara touches, which is fine, but if you're buying a Z car for the interior, I can't help you, my friend. Looks aside, the Z Nismo is really all about its performance, and while the increased weight is a bummer, it comes from real improvements in chassis rigidity and cooling. The car gets 20 more horsepower than the standard Z Performance, and some more torque, though you won't really notice it. What you will notice are the improved brakes, stiffer suspension tuning, and the extra drive mode, Sport Plus. The huge letdown here with the Z is that Nissan put all this work into making the car better and sharper, and then gave it a not particularly good 9-speed automatic transmission. The gearbox does shift a bit quicker than the unit in the Z Performance, but it always feels like you're trying to drive around the transmission rather than it being pleasant or even ignorable to use. The reasoning Nissan gives for making the Nismo auto only is that it offers faster lap times. But while that may be true, those laps aren't any more fun than they'd be with a manual, or even something like the DCT from the GTR. On track, I will say that despite my criticisms, the Z Nismo acquits itself admirably, especially when driven back-to-back with the Z Performance. There is a difference between the car's behavior, but when you move from the racetrack to the road, you start to see where the sacrifices were made for those better lap times. The car is good at smoothing out bumps when going quickly, but the ride gets pretty jarring when the speeds come down. If you want to daily drive the Z Nismo, my advice is don't. Finally, there's the price. $66,085 is a lot to ask for this thing, especially when you consider the almost as good Z Performance starts at almost $14,000 less. So for better or worse, Nissan once again Nissan'd the Z Nismo by offering a fundamentally decent car that's not really competitive on price or performance. But we suspect that, again, because Nissan, it'll be around for at least another decade or so. So if you are the hardcore Nissan fanboy track rat that this car is specifically for, you've got time to pick one up. Hopefully at a discount.